Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope everything is going well. Today, I'm sharing my special baklava recipe, which I've been making for nearly 20 years. It's super easy, incredibly delicious, and perfectly crispy. After this, making baklava will be the easiest dessert for you. Let's get started. First, we start by making the syrup because it needs time to cool. In a pot, combine 3 cups of sugar and 2½ cups of water. Stir until the sugar dissolves, then let it boil over medium heat for about 15 minutes until it thickens slightly. I move my syrup to another burner and start preparing the butter. The syrup continues to simmer. We're not done with it yet. In another pot, I add 1½ stick of butter and ½ cup of oil, then melt the butter completely. As the butter heats up, it starts to foam. Now I carefully skim off all the foam, because if it stays in the butter, it can burn on top of the baklava, leaving dark spots. Meanwhile, my stove is still on low heat to keep the butter warm. The foam is almost gone, so I turn the heat up to high for a moment, then lower it again before removing the butter from the heat. While waiting, some foam might settle at the bottom, and we won't use that part for the baklava. I take the butter off the heat and move the syrup to a bigger burner so it can continue boiling. Normally I go by instinct, but this time I measured everything and timed it for you. I kept track of the syrup, and it simmered for 15 minutes on medium heat until it was ready. In the last 5 minutes, I add a slice of lemon to the syrup, and it continues to boil. I can tell the syrup is ready when the last drop on my spoon slows down and thickens, and since I want a thicker syrup, I know it's reached the right consistency. The syrup is ready, so I set it aside to cool. Now, let's move on to the baklava. I use Athens brand phyllo dough, and I've been using it for years. It's a brand I trust, and I can easily find it in almost every store: Walmart, Kroger, Meijer, you name it. Each package contains 2 rolls, so we'll use one for the bottom layer and one for the top. Let's get started. I place the first package of phyllo dough onto my baking tray. I'm using walnuts for the filling, but you can use hazelnuts, pistachios, or any nuts you prefer. It's totally up to you. I sprinkle 2 cups of walnuts evenly over the phyllo dough layer. I open the second package of phyllo dough and place it on top. Some people like to butter each layer or add multiple layers of nuts, but I think 1 layer of nuts with plenty of them is enough. There's no need to butter the layers in between because we'll be adding enough butter to coat every layer evenly while baking. Yes, this part is definitely the trickiest for me, cutting the 40 layers of dough. When cutting, we need to make sure we cut all the way to the bottom. Otherwise, your baklava won't slice neatly and will fall apart when serving. In the video, I cut them to the size you see, but you can adjust the size based on your preference. First, I cut halfway through the tray. Then I rotate the tray and finish cutting the rest. This helps ensure the cuts are even and neat. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, and subscribing helps me a lot, as I work hard to grow my channel. Also, feel free to share this video with your friends and family. Your support really means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough in advance. Now I pour the melted butter evenly over the baklava. You can use a spoon or ladle for this, but I prefer to pour it directly from the pot like this. Make sure there's no foam left in your butter, and be careful not to pour any of the sediment at the bottom onto the baklava. Finally, I drizzle half cup of oil evenly over the baklava, making sure to spread it carefully. After that, we're ready to bake. I bake mine for exactly 35 minutes at 385 Fahrenheit. The baklava needs to bake slowly, not too quickly and not too slowly. Each layer should cook nicely and turn golden brown. When it starts to brown, don't rush to take it out. Let it bake thoroughly to ensure it's fully cooked. After 20 minutes, my baklava looked like this, but I continued baking it to make sure it was fully cooked and golden brown. Yes, it's done. Now we just need to wait for it to cool. It looks perfectly golden and crispy. Now for the syrup, I pour it onto the baklava differently from most people. I don't pour hot syrup on hot baklava because it makes it soft, and I prefer it to stay crispy. That's why, for years, I've always made sure the syrup and baklava are both cold. I prepare the syrup the night before or in the morning so it has time to cool. I don't like to take risks. I want that guaranteed crispiness, and everyone who tries my baklava loves it. Yes, my baklava has cooled down, and the syrup is cold as well. Now, I pour the syrup evenly over the baklava and let it sit for at least 2 to 3 hours to absorb the syrup fully. During this time, don't cover it with anything, as we want it to stay crispy. Once the syrup is fully absorbed, the baklava is ready to serve. I poured the syrup over my baklava before bed, and by morning, it had absorbed most of it beautifully. This is how it looked. Now I'll garnish it with pistachios and move on to the tasting phase. At the end of the video, I turned up the sound so you could hear how crispy it is. That's the most important part for me. I hope you all enjoyed it. The video was a bit long, but I wanted to share every detail with you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.